Good morning, all of you. I'm going to present today about mechatronics, and the topic I will cover will be the fluid power system, hydraulic system, pneumatic systems, system structure in the signal flow, and hydraulic pump. Right? Okay. So some of the aspects I already discussed in the previous class. So accordingly, I must tell you. I already gone through the actuators. And actuators, I already defined the actuators in the previous class. And actuators are the output device. Actuators are output device, right? Actuators are output device. Okay, output device which convert energy from the pressurized hydraulic oil or compressed air into the required type of action or the motion, right? So in general, if I will tell you, hydraulic or pneumatic systems are used for the gripping or the moving, operations in the industry. And these operations are carried out by using the actuators. So I must tell you, we are having the three actuators. And what are those? That may be the linear actuator, that may be the linear actuator, rotary actuator, okay, and the actuator which is operated by the flow control valve, pressure control valve, and the flow control valve, pressure control valve, and the direction control valve, right? So about linear controller, I already told you. Linear controller is what? Linear actuator is what? These are the device which convert the hydraulic or the pneumatic energy into the linear motion, right? Rather than this, if you come to the rotary actuator, at that time, yeah, rotary actuator, you must remember these are the device which convert the hydraulic or the pneumatic energy into the rotary motion, right? And then actuator to operate the flow control valve. That is what the flow control valves. Okay. Then if these are used to control the flow and the pressures of the such a gases or the oil or the steam or whatever the liquid we are using. Okay, so actuators, what we are using to control the pressure, that is what the pressure control valves. What we are control the direction control valve, and what control the rate of flow, that is the rate control flow valves, right? So these are the three types so far we have to study, right? I already told in the previous class, the construction of hydraulic and the pneumatic linear actuator is very similar. If you see hydraulic actuator and if you are talking about the pneumatic actuator, both are the similar in construction. But what is the difference associated with them? So difference is, they are the pressure. These are the pressure. So pressure of the hydraulic cylinder is about 100 bar. Okay. 100 bar, and if you see the pneumatic actuators, they are near about 10 bar. You are getting what I'm telling? Okay, so this is all about the pressure. That's why hydraulic actuator is far good. Hydraulic actuator is far good than the pneumatic actuator. But we cannot say this is only the far better. We cannot say this is only the far better. Okay. Why we cannot say? Because why we cannot say this is only the far better? Why we cannot tell? We cannot tell like this कि ये far better है, ये far better नहीं है. Because it depends on the kinds of application. It depends on the kind of application, right? It depends on the kind of applications what we are using. It solely depends on the kind of activations, kind of application for what we are using. Let us suppose if you are looking for if you are looking for the not a heavy work. So of course you are looking for the pneumatic actuators. Why it is so? Because it is a leakage free, it is a neat and clean source of the energy. It can transmit it very and the compressed air is available in plenty in atmosphere without paying any much more cost, right? Much more cost. Clear? So I must tell you before starting this, I must tell you actuation systems, how actuator systems and hydraulic actuator is far better than the pneumatic actuator, and somewhere pneumatic actuator is far better than the hydraulic actuator. So I must tell you, actuator. So how do you define actuator? An actuator wherein hydraulic energy is used to impart the motion. Hydraulic actuator is क्या? Hydraulic actuator is what? Hydraulic actuator means the hydraulic energy is used to impart the motion. It's called hydraulic actuator. If the air is used to impart the motion, that is what the pneumatic actuator. Right? So a system where the energy is imparted to oil, and the hydraulic energy so imparted to the oil is converted into the mechanical energy. That is what we call it the hydraulic system. That is what we call it the hydraulic system. Got it? So what are
Sir,
the, yeah, tell me.
sir,
Yes. Yes, tell me.
सर आपकी आवाज बीच में आवाज नहीं आ रही थी क्लियरली.
Okay, might be this problem I cannot overcome, you know. Okay, but I will try. If you buddy are not, if you people are not getting my clear voice, so you need to stop me at the same time, so that I will come to know whether I'm imparting my good lecture to you or not, right? Okay, so let me know whether my voice is audible enough to you all or not. Okay, if it is not audible enough, you must raise your hand, or you must interrupt in between my lecture, right? Okay, so I must go ahead. Okay, so I already told you that now we are discussing what are the advantages associated with the hydraulic system and what are the disadvantages associated with the hydraulic system. Actually, this is very important, and this is also equally important for the from the aspect of examination, right? So I'm going to discuss you the advantage of hydraulic actuator. I'm going to discuss about the advantages of the hydraulic actuator, right? So I'm going to start the advantages. First of all, I would like to tell you, easy to produce and transmit a store. I'm talking about the advantages associated with the hydraulic system, right? So easy to produce, transmit, store, regulate and control, maintain and transform the hydraulic power. It is very easy to produce, transmit, store, regulate and control, maintain and transform the hydraulic power. This is the first advantage. Okay, if you will go further, then possible to generate high gain in force and power amplification by the use of this hydraulic system. We can it is possible to generate high gain in force and the power amplifications. So power will be amplified in case of the, we can easily amplify the power in case of the hydraulic system, right? Then hydraulic systems are uniform and smooth, and this can generate the stepless motion. They are not having any steps, and variable speed and force to a greater accuracy. So the accuracy of hydraulic system is too high. Accuracy of the hydraulic system is too high. You are getting what I'm telling? The accuracy of the hydraulic actuator is very high. So that's why we are using for the any powerful operations, we are using the hydraulic energy. If I will give you the example, if you have seen the earth moving device like JCB, you have seen the cat, that is the product of the caterpillar. Okay, so it has been signified by the cat. So you have seen those earth moving device, earth digging device, and the JCB machines and other kind of the machine. They are operated by they are operated by the hydraulic system. They are operated by the hydraulic power. ओके, सो जितना भी पावरफुल ऑपरेशन होता है उसमें हम लोग किसको यूज करते हैं? हाइड्रोलिक्स को यूज करते हैं. Hydraulics यूज करते हैं. Let us suppose if you are talking about in tractor, if you are familiar, if you have seen the tractor, so during during the cultivation, आपको पता होगा ट्रैक्टर में क्या करते हैं जब खेत की जुताई करते हैं. So we will lift the lift the machine by the use of actuators. We lift the machine by the use of the actuators, right? Okay, so we can easily limiting and balancing the hydraulic forces. Okay, we can easily limiting and balancing of hydraulic forces. Okay, so you can tell the limiting and balancing of hydraulic forces are the easily performed, right? So the weight to power ratio of an hydraulic system is comparatively less than for the electromechanical system. Just keep in the mind, weight to power ratio of an hydraulic system is comparatively less than electromechanical system. If you're talking about the electromechanical system, if you will see electromechanical system and hydraulic system, so you will find weight to power ratio of hydraulic system is comparatively less. अगर weight कम होगा, of course उसकी consumptions कम होगी और उसकी efficiency ज़्यादा होगी. तो इसलिए आप ध्यान रखिएगा कि अगर इलेक्ट्रोमैकेनिकल सिस्टम और हाइड्रोलिक सिस्टम से कंपैरिजन करें तो हाइड्रोलिक सिस्टम का वेट टू पावर रेशियो कम वेट में ज्यादा पावर इम्पार्ट करता है। वो क्या होता है, वेट टू पावर रेशियो ऑफ हाइड्रोलिक सिस्टम इज कंपैरेटिवली लेस देन द इलेक्ट्रोमैकेनिकल सिस्टम, राइट। देयर मेंटेनेंस हाइड्रोलिक सिस्टम में मेंटेनेंस इज वेरी इजी, देयर मेंटेनेंस इज क्वाइट इजी, द मेंटेनेंस इन हाइड्रोलिक सिस्टम इज वेरी इजी, right? And one more thing I must tell you, hydraulic system are cheaper if you are considering the high efficiency of power transmission. If you are focused on the high power transmission, so in that case the hydraulic system are cheaper than any other system, right? And hydraulic is mechanically safe, compact and adaptable to other form of the power and can be easily controlled. That can be easily controlled. So you just keep in the mind that hydraulic system is mechanically safe. It is not dangerous. This is also compact and adaptable to any form of the power, and that can be easily controlled. Right? And then we move forward. Division and distribution of hydraulic power is simple, very simple. Division and distribution of hydraulic power is very simple and easier than any other form of energy. They are having the simple concept. If you will see, they are having the simple concept. If you will see in the coming slides, so hydraulic power connections is very simple. So division and the distribution of hydraulic power is very simple. Let us suppose if you are going to provide the hydraulic power to a system or to a plant. So what we will do? We will simply pass on. The main transmission line, and from main transmission line, we will make the distribution system. We will make the distribution system as it is. Right? Okay. So distribution. Just keep in the mind, division and the distribution of hydraulic power is very simple, and that is very easy than any other form. Right? And if you are talking about the frictional resistance. So frictional resistance in case of the hydraulic system is very less if you are comparing to the mechanical movement. If you are talking about the friction, so the frictional resistance in hydraulic system is very less than if you are comparing the same with the mechanical movement. अगर कहीं भी मैकेनिकल मूवमेंट होगा तो ऑफ कोर्स आपको पता है फ्रिक्शन की वैल्यू कंपैरेटिवली ज्यादा होगा जो हाइड्रोलिक सिस्टम में होगा। तो हाइड्रोलिक सिस्टम से हमेशा मैकेनिकल सिस्टम में फ्रिक्शनल रेसिस्टेंस ज्यादा होंगे। So I think you people are familiar enough to know what are the advantages associated with the hydraulic system. So I must now I must tell you what are the disadvantages associated with the hydraulic system, because we must have to keep, because many of the problem that may be asked, why we are going for this, why we are not going for this. So that kind of questions will be the getting solved by this. This kind of question will be getting solved by this, right? So if you see, if you are talking about the disadvantage, what are the disadvantages associated with the hydraulic system? So I must tell you, manufacturing cost is very high. So the manufacturing cost of the hydraulic system is very high. Why? Since the hydraulic element have to be maintained to a high degree of precision. I already told you in the advantage, because the manufacturing cost is very high. Why? Manufacturing cost is very high. Why? Because we are looking for the quality, and for that quality to be maintained, we have to machine it. We have to machine the hydraulic system with a great precision. That's what this is a big headache. That's why the manufacturing cost is very high. If we are not concerned about the quality, then we can manufacture the hydraulic system to the roadside vendor. Okay, but if you are concerned about quality aspects, so that you need to stop those. You are getting what I'm telling? So hydraulic element have to be specially treated to protect them against the rust, corrosion, dirt. You are getting? Whatever the material we are using in the manufacturing of the hydraulic system, just keep in the mind that material must be resistant of rust, corrosion and dirt, so that system may go longer when you are going to work. The system may work successfully in many of the coming years without any difficulties. So we must be aware, we have to use the material which must be treated with rust resistant, okay, corrosion resistance and the dirt resistance. Okay. Okay, so of course we must have to use some plating techniques, or some we must have to using some chromium and the nickel based material, so that it can already resist to the corrosion, right? Then petroleum based hydraulic oil may pose fire hazards. I already told you, in the coal mines nowadays we are using most of the technology, but we need to acquire the hydraulic technology. Why it is so? Because they are having during the digging of the earth, when we are working in the mines at that time, when you are working with the mines at that time, you can at that time you can you can feel the presence of CH4, that is methane, so that may cause the fire hazards. So the petroleum based hydraulic oil may cause higher pure higher fire hazards, right? And thus we must have to limit in the upper level of working temperature. Okay, we must have to choose those materials which can be comfortably used during the mining work and other applications where the temperature may comes into the action, so that the fire hazard will not take place. So you just keep in the mind all the petroleum based hydraulic oil that may cause hazard. So we have to, is it audible to all of you? What kind of
Yes, sir.
okay, okay. What kind of sound I'm getting in the background? Like tuck, 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 tuck. No problem. So I think you all people are getting what I'm telling and what I'm teaching you. So I'm telling you, you must be aware about the petroleum-based hydraulic oil. Okay, that may cause the fire hazard. That's why, in order to stop the fire hazard, we have to use a special kind of fluid. We have to use a special kind of oil, so that their upper temperature level will be beyond the level what we are attending during the work, so that the fire hazard will not cause. And this may cause some cost effective. This may cause some cost. Okay, this may cause some cost. Okay, and certain hydraulic systems are exposed to unfriendly climate and dirty atmosphere. In some of the cases, some of the cases you will see the hydraulic system are exposed to the unfriendly climate. And unfriendly climate bole to, and dirty atmosphere bole to matlab kya? In the case of the mobile hydraulic, like dumper, loader. ओके, डंपर होता है, लोडर होता है, जेसीबी मशीन होता है, देखते हो नाली साफ करने के लिए हम लोग इस्तेमाल करते हैं, अर्थ खोदने के लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं, गंदगी को हटाने के लिए इस्तेमाल करते हैं. So in that case, in that cause, hydraulic systems are exposed to the unfriendly climate and dirty atmosphere. Okay, right? So this is also a disadvantage. This is not maintaining the hygiene, right? And then come to the end, hydraulic power is not readily available compared to electric power. For hydraulic power to transmit, we must have to purchase a good quality of oil. But in case in case of the electric power, if you are talking about, so electric power is readily available if you are comparing with the hydraulic power. So hydraulic power is not readily available. Okay, if you are comparing with the electric power, so electric power is available everywhere where we want. Everywhere we want. Okay. So yesterday I told you what are the principle on which the hydraulic system is working. So I must tell you, I must told you in the previous class. Hydraulic system is working on the principle. Which principle? That working on the Pascal's law. And in a receptacle, hydraulic system किसमें काम करता है? Let us suppose if you see this, this is what? This is the closed vessels. This is just kind of a closed system or closed vessels in which we are applying the force F1 at the shorter cylinder piston assembly side. And what is the force F2? I already told you. What is the force F2? So F2 is the output of the bigger cylinder. So in that case, if you will see, so output is the multiplication of the force applied on the fluid, okay, to the cross sections area, to the ratio of this cross sections area which is available into the hydraulic system. So this F2 is the multiplication of force applied on the fluid to the smaller cylinder piston assembly, and the cross section area associated with this. Okay. So hydraulic power supply, I must tell you, if you are talking about the basic element of the oil and the hydraulic system, if you are talking about the basic element of oil and the hydraulic system, you must keep in the mind, we must have the hydraulic unit, hydraulic pump unit. Let us suppose we are having the hydraulic pump unit. They will pump the fluid from the tank. They will pump the fluid from the tank. So this is hydraulic pump, and hydraulic pump is associated with this filter. And what is the role of filter? Whatever the fluid and what are the impurities and what are the unwanted materials in the fluid, that must be filtered first, and then hydraulic pump will pump this liquid to the pump this liquid and pass on pressurized liquid to the pressure regulator. Where? Pressure regulator. So what pressure regulator will do? Let us suppose if you are looking for that particular value of the pressure regulator, so after attending that pressure regulator, after attending that pressure regulator, pass on this pressure regulator to be the control valve, and the rest, the excessive pressures and the fluid may be resettled into the resent or resettled into the fluid tank, right? So do you know what is the role of control valve? So what is the role of the control valve? So control valve will control the received pressure from the pressure regulator. Received pressure from the pressure regulator. So what control valve will do? So the flow of the pressurized liquid discharge by the pump is controlled by these valves. Just listen carefully what I'm telling. Flow of pressurized liquid discharge, okay, by this hydraulic pump is controlled by this control valve. That's why you will see with control valve there is one pipe, there is one opening which will also send the excessive fluid to the fluid tank, right? So that valve may be of three types. That control valve may be of three types. What are those three types? That you must keep in the mind. That is the pressure control valve, which will control the liquid pressure, right? Then flow control valve, which will control the liquid flow rate, right? And direction control valve, which will control the direction of the flow of the liquid. Is there any problem? You people are asking. Is there any problem? Some hands may raised. Some hands may raised. Is there any problem? Is it audible enough? I'm talking to Mr. Rishabh. Rishabh, is it audible enough?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any issue? I have seen some of the
No,
hands
sir.
they must raise. Okay. So you are getting what I'm teaching you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just keep in the mind, if somebody will ask about the hydraulic system and schematic diagram of the hydraulic system or element of hydraulic system, so you must tell them this is the hydraulic pump unit. So I told you hydraulic pump unit contains the in hydraulic in an actual hydraulic system if you are talking about, so उसमें क्या करता है हम लोग हाइड्रोलिक पंप यूज करते हैं. और हाइड्रोलिक पंप क्या करता है? हाइड्रोलिक पंप कन्वर्ट करता है मैकेनिकल पावर को फ्लूइड पावर में. हाइड्रोलिक पंप क्या करता है? When it is in action, it is converting the hydraulic fluid into the hydraulic power into the mechanical power into the fluid power, right? Or the intake of the pump is connected to what? The intake of this hydraulic pump is connected to what? This fluid tank, where the fluid has been stored, or you can say the fluid reservoir, right? And I already have explained the control valves. So three control valves you must keep in the mind. And what are those? Pressure control valves, flow control valves, and direction control valves. Okay, so pressure control valve, I already told you, they will control the liquid pressure. Okay, flow control valve, they will control the liquid flow rate, and then direction control valve, which will control the direction of flow of the liquid. Got it? And those control valve will pass on this pressurized fluid to the piston, so that alternately piston will be lift up and down, up and down, up and down. This can be reciprocate into the cylinder. And where it will be reciprocate? This is this is the piston cylinder assembly. Okay, and on the top of the piston, so on the top of the piston, we are having the weight lifting device. They will lift the weight on the associated with this piston cylinder assembly. So nowadays, whatever the weight lifting machine we are using into the showroom of the car, they are working on this principle. Have you seen? On one arm, your car has been lifted for repairing, lifted for the, lifted for washing, lifted for repairing, and lifted for replacement of any of the internal component of the engine component of the machine, right? Okay, you got it?
Yes, sir.
So let me discuss what are the components. Let me discuss what are the component of hydraulic system. So I think the figure is before your eye, and you must before your screen, and you must see in front of your eyes. You must see pump, and pump क्या करता है? What is the function of pump? It deliver the high pressurized fluid. Pump क्या करता है? पंप क्या करता है? हाई प्रेशराइज फ्लूइड को डिलीवर करता है प्रेशर रेगुलेटर पे, ठीक है? उसके बाद प्रेशर रेगुलेटर की बात करें, सो प्रेशर रेगुलेटर का क्या काम होता है? इट लिमिट द प्रेशर इन द सिस्टम. देन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द वाल्व्स, so these control the flow rate and the pressures, right? Then we are talking about the distribution system. I already told you in the advantage and disadvantage. Then what I said, division and distribution of hydraulic power is very simple and easier than any other form of the energy, right? So distribution system is what? It is composed of the hoses and the pipes. Distribution system is what? जहां से distribution हो रहा है, जहां से pressure drop हो रहा है. Okay, so it is composed of the hoses. जानते हो ना, मैकेनिकल hoses होता है और पाइप्स का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. और इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तुम जानते हो, अगर पूरे डायग्राम की बात करें तो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर इज व्हाट? द होल कंटेनमेंट डायग्राम इज द इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द hydraulic system. So infrastructure consists of what? All the elements that you have seen in this diagram, right? And this is typically used to power many of the hydraulic valves actuating subsystems, right? So these are all about hydraulic system. 1 minute please. 1 minute please.